Hey everybody, this is William from the Godzilla Files, coming at you today with a new Monster Talk video. Today we're going to be looking at the more horrific moments in the Godzilla series. So I want to talk about this for two reasons. One, obviously it is October, so we're getting closer to Halloween, and I thought this would be a perfect topic for the season. You know, I do love horror films, so kind of being able to show more of the horror aspect of Godzilla is always fun. And honestly, the second reason is because when I talk about Godzilla, most people kind of have an image of a friendly Godzilla in their head. So I do like talking about elements of the Godzilla series that they might not be even aware of. And these moments that I'm going to be talking about really show a different side to Godzilla and maybe even kaiju in general. So let's jump right into these moments. So our first stop is actually the original film. Even in the American cut, this film is pretty serious. You know, overall, this is kind of showing the devastation of Godzilla. And the moment that really crystallizes that whole entire idea, or that idea of a nuclear weapon being used on a population, is the day after Godzilla attacked Tokyo, where we see all the people in the hospital. And honestly, it is one of those scenes that really sticks with you. The music, everything really builds to this one moment. And you're seeing people that are dying, people that are hit with radiation that are not going to live, children that are scarred. Like, it is truly a horrific moment. It might not be like blood and guts or anything like that, but it's a moment that sticks with you, and it really does show that even the original film was a pretty serious one, had a tone that was dark. A lot of the other films, as the Godzilla series went on, got lighter and lighter. So starting at this point is actually perfect because it really shows you where Godzilla came from and what he was supposed to represent. And this scene in general shows it perfectly. While that moment might not be visceral in a sense of gore, we do jump to Godzilla vs. Hedorah, and honestly, this film is almost like a horror film in a way. You know, there are a lot of moments where Hedorah is killing humans, and it's throughout the whole entire film. You know, it's truly one of the more graphic films, and you don't really see kaiju interacting with humans all that much in the Toho series. So seeing this is pretty horrifying. You know, Hedorah just flying over humans and they just turn to bones. You know, like, that's pretty striking for anybody watching that film. Now, I didn't see this film when I was younger, but I know a lot of people did, and that's something that they talk about a lot. Like, it's something that is pretty heavy when you think about it. It's supposed to be, I don't want to say a kid's film, but in a way geared towards kids and a younger audience, and then you have all of a sudden Hedorah coming by and just killing people. It's truly a crazy moment, and even the people playing games while Godzilla and Hedorah fight, they're dead at the end of the fight. And you know, it's something you don't see, and it truly is like a horrifying moment. You don't see kaiju fights ever really affecting humans in such a way. So Hedorah kind of started this whole entire line of harder Godzilla films in the 70s, where Godzilla was bleeding a little bit more. You know, it really was shocking when I saw Godzilla vs. Gigan. You know, that actually kind of was like, whoa, like when Godzilla bled for the first time, you know, that was a moment that really stuck with me. Pretty scary in a way, because Godzilla had never bled before, at least to my knowledge, and seeing that was really stuck with me. You know, it was the first time in a while that I was like, wow, Godzilla might actually lose this. So it was kind of actually a pretty, as a kid, a horrifying moment, because, you know, you're seeing your hero go down and the music and everything else like that. Anguirus is bleeding as well. Like, it's pretty horrifying as well. I mean, the blood legitimately shoots at the screen when Anguirus goes to try to help Godzilla and runs right into Gigan's buzzsaw. There's definitely some moments in those 70 films that are pretty hard if you're a kid. So jumping out of the Showa period, I want to talk about Godzilla 1985. Now, this film is one of my favorites. It's actually a really enjoyable film. I like the fact that they went back to a darker Godzilla. But one of the scenes that I always think about is when Godzilla is in the harbor. When I was younger, I loved this scene. I love that Godzilla just annihilated the whole entire army that was on the shore. But now that I look at it, it's pretty horrifying. You know, you see people burning up, you know, lit on fire, that are running around. The people in those tanks and those army trucks, whatever it is, are dead. And it's a pretty horrifying scene. You know, they kind of pan on it for a little bit, but you don't really see death that way, especially in a Godzilla film. You know, yes, Godzilla destroys tanks and, you know, ships all the time, but it's kind of done in a different way in the Showa period. But this one was so visceral, and you're like, wow, these people are dead. And you know they are. Like, it's the way it's shot, the music, everything about it. Yes, when I was younger, like I said, I thought it was cool. Now when I look at it, it's actually a pretty horrifying moment, because you realize Godzilla is completely unstoppable. So after Godzilla 1985, 5, the films were starting to be kind of toned down a little bit. I think they kind of became more fantastic than dark. And throughout the rest of the Heisei period, there isn't really any more horrifying moments that I can really think of. Even when you go into the Millennium series, they still aren't dark in many ways, but the one film that I want to talk about is actually GMK. Because if you're looking for a slasher kaiju film, then this is the movie for you. It's definitely a 80s horror movie, at least in my opinion. Godzilla is very much so like Mike Myers or Jason Voorhees. He is just killing everybody. Doesn't matter if you're human, another kaiju, he is just going after you. So, in that sense, it's kind of cool to see Godzilla as a horror icon, but, it's maybe not as horrifying as, like I said, Friday the 13th or something like that, but it's pretty cool either way. It's kind of a twist on the horror genre with kaijus, in my opinion. So it's definitely something to be checking out. Alright everybody, let me know in the comments below what are some of the more horrifying moments in the Godzilla series that you can think of, or maybe in the kaiju genre in general. I know War of the Gargantuas has a ton of them, but I left them out because I just wanted to focus on the Godzilla series. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be talking to you guys soon.